Hi everyone, it's Sabrina Woodworth with Work Lessons 101. So this episode of the Work Lessons 101 Q&A show is actually going to start off a series. For the next 5 weeks, today being the first episode, we're going to address the taboo work questions. So the pink elephant in the middle of the room type questions, questions that everybody wants to ask but no one does. So today's question is, why do corporate kiss-ups go up the corporate ladder? All right, so this question made me laugh, and I definitely avoided answering it for a while, just simply because, it's a delicate question, because what's the definition of a kiss up? So I'll discuss that in a minute. But the first thing is this question was addressed and asked after I answered about 6 weeks ago. I answered a question, how to go up the corporate ladder, and I discussed three things: credibility, reputation, and network. Three critical variables that feed long-term successful careers. That is critical because I will be discussing those in a minute. So the first thing is you need to actually identify a corporate kiss-up. I've actually talked to people that believe a corporate kiss-up is someone who mingles with the higher-ups at a company function. That is not a kiss-up. That is networking, which is, again, a huge variable in successful careers. You do need to network. You do need influencers and decision makers in your network. If you can't get those interactions in your day-to-day job, company functions are a great way to introduce yourself to executives and vice presidents. So don't judge your peers if they're doing that. That's a great strategy to do, and I recommend you doing it. Obviously, be prepared for those discussions. Come with maybe a prepared question, kind of understand their background, and pick their brain maybe on something. Most VPs like to help you and like to, hear themselves speak and like to answer your questions. So don't assume that's a corporate suck up by any means. Now, the corporate suck up. Corporate suck ups tend to change what they say depending on their audience. They take a stance of, I'm going to tell you what you want to hear rather than give their opinion. Sometimes that is an effective strategy because some battles just are not worth fighting. Some leaders, managers, like their ego being stroked and really like to be told they're great. So corporate kiss-ups tend to do this very, very well. They feed egos, and they ride them. But not all corporate kiss-ups get up the corporate ladder because they're kiss-ups. Sometimes maybe they have a ton of credibility and they have an effective network. Networking can open many, many opportunities and many doors for you, so never underestimate that. Where I think a kiss-up fails, they definitely lack integrity. If you're willing to change your opinion based on your audience, means you don't stand behind a lot of things. Be cautious around people like that because they don't tend to stick up for you and they don't tend to, they never take sides, but unless it's an influencer or a high up person's side, whether they agree with them or not. So they definitely lack a little bit of character trait and integrity there. So always be cautious because people like that may throw you under the bus. That's a big one. But where they tend to fail the most is in the networking amongst their peers. Kiss-ups are not respected amongst their peers. This will not hurt them right away because their peers are their level. They network up very well. They don't tend to network down, and they sometimes lack networking at their own level. An effective network has all ranks and levels within their network. Peers don't respect kiss-ups because of the lack of integrity. They don't see that they've earned it, and some maybe haven't. So that is where they fail. And you may not see this failure for 10 years down the road, but I have seen it. I have seen people plateau at an executive level and don't go any further because eventually the higher-ups retire and move on. And eventually your promotions come from your peers that have made it purely on talent, hard work, that credibility, reputation. So kiss-ups really suffer in that reputation category. They might have a ton of credibility. They might be very good at what they do. They've networked very effectively upwards, but they fail to network with their peers. They have failed to network and mentor properly underneath. And they have suffered, their reputation has suffered as a consequence. So in conclusion, hopefully that answers your question. For the next 4 weeks, we'll be answering taboo questions. So I plan on doing this series now and again. So if you guys have a taboo work question that you would like to address, please write to me via any of my social medias or my website, worklessons101.com. Thank you.